Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now, popping in for another video. Now, here's the thing. When a lot of times I have to shoot like this because it's so long. So imagine a person, a cameraman, sitting behind the camera, listening to me talk about something that he does not want to hear about for a whole hour. So he starts shifting in his chair and moving and stuff and all that, and throw me off. So that's why I shoot a lot of my videos alone when they long form or just topics that it's uncomfortable for me to talk about this stuff. Because here's the thing. When we speak about the truth of what we see and what we've experienced, a lot of times the truth is too real to hear. But everybody say they want the truth, but nobody can handle the truth. So if a woman came out, if millions of women came out and said, hey, we really don't enjoy sex and we really don't be feeling a whole lot if we've lived a life that doesn't involve abuse or whatever, and we really can do that without making any noise if we don't want to. So a lot of the noise and the hollering and the and all that is, it's all fake. It's all just theatrics, just for the man ego. If millions of women came out and said that, men, they'll have to shut down the bridges. They will have to shut down the bridges because men will be up there just diving. And so listen to me. Don't nobody want to hear the truth. But one thing I have to do is tell the truth as I see it. And it's just my truth. It's probably not your truth. And if that's not your truth, then that's why I have a YouTube for Beginners course that you could take so you could start your channel and share your truth. And the same way YouTube pays me, YouTube could be paying you to share your truth. So I want y'all to also understand that I'm never here to argue and go back and forth about what I know. This is what I know. It might not be your truth, but this is what I know. And so I ain't telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I done seen, telling you what I done experienced. I tell you right what I'm in the midst of. So although it may not be across the board, it is my truth. And that's why God gave me a mouth and a tongue. And so I want y'all to know and understand that when you're hearing me talk. Now I want to talk about this from the other side that I'm seeing of black women being single at alarming rates. And just so many. I'm meeting so many single black women. And it breaks my heart. Honestly, it breaks my heart because it's so many single black women who want to be married. I could get it if they didn't want to be married. And it's some women who have told themselves they don't want marriage. But a lot of times we tell ourselves we don't want something when we don't feel like we can obtain it. And we tell ourselves we don't want it so we aren't heartbroken, so that every day doesn't feel like a failure. But the thing about that is it changes your countenance and you start to repel that which you really want. So it's better to long for something, to want something, but to be content in the moment, but yet know that this is a desire of your heart. So your presentation is a representation of that which you desire. So therefore, if you want to be married, then you're going to dress like a wife in waiting. If you want to be married, you're going to smile at those that you could be married to. You're going to have your head up and on a swivel. You're going to walk with a purpose. You're going to look lively. You're going to talk, communicate, get in different communities. You're going to prepare yourself. You're going to get your mind right, your body right, your spirit right, and you're going to be ready and in expectation for that which you say you want. But here's the thing. There's always going to be a certain segment that is not ready. And on the male side, what I'm seeing is, it's sad to see, but I get it. And it's a little discouraging. It's a little hurtful. It's a little discouraging. But we can't be discouraged. We just have to be real about it, and we got to understand. And we also have to understand that, yes, although this exists, this is not the only existence. There are other existences. Like, there are men who are ready and they're looking for their wife. Now, they need some help? Yes. And Lord willing, maybe I could find a time to help men in waiting, men in preparation, to have some realistic expectations, because one of the reasons why a lot of black women are single is because men have unrealistic expectations. And we spoke about this. One of those unrealistic expectations comes from pornography. Another comes from social media, and men looking at women who are full of makeup, full of body work, full of editing from an app, and thinking that it's real. And then seeing that woman in real life and being like, whoa, ho, ho, ho. And then meeting other women and comparing real women who are having a real existence to women who are living a lie online or on a video or on a website somewhere. And so men not being able to accept the reality of a woman is one of the main reasons. But on the other side of that, you have the fact that men have not been, black men especially is what I'm speaking of as a black man, have not, and this could apply to other races and stuff watching this, but only you will know that, not me. I'm a black man. So understand that. My view is limited to my demographic, my experiences, and what I'm studying. So I can't speak for Asian men. I can't speak for white men, Hispanic men, all that. So understand that. What's happening is black men are not being raised for marriage. And it's coming from both sides. It's coming from the father and the mother in a lot of cases. So from the father's side of it, a lot of times the father is not there. And when the father is not there, that causes this issue that I've seen with men whose father wasn't in the home. The issue is men learn from imprinting. So, and this could be true for women, but again, speaking from male, men learn from imprinting. So we do what we saw done, and we could have only saw it one time, but we do it. So if a man sees a man who is abusive to women, and he loves this young boy loves that man or looks up to that man, then there's a high possibility that that young boy will grow up to be abusive towards women, whether that's verbally, physically, or what have you. Even if the victim of it is someone the young man loves, he then will still carry out that same act, but against someone who he doesn't love. And in order to be abusive in that way, you can't really love someone. And so men learn through imprinting, and sometimes men see that. And then the other thing that men see is infidelity, lies, deceit, manipulation. And so what it tells men is that this is okay. It says, hey, this is okay. This is what a man is. This is what a man does. This is how things go. That's what it tells a man. And so because of that, men start to believe that it's our place to lie, to cheat, to deceive, and not to be faithful and honest. So you hear things growing up that stick with you. And men learn by observation. So I've heard a man tell me that a woman has to have amazing feet. And I said, well, why does she have to have amazing feet? And he said, well, because I was watching a movie growing up with my brother because I didn't have a father, and we were watching a movie, and Eddie Murphy, I think he said Eddie Murphy was in the bed with a woman, and whenever the woman would go to sleep or what have you, he would pull the covers up to where her feet sticking out the bottom, and he would look at her feet, and that's how he would determine if he liked her or not, or if he could be with her or not. And if you notice, you'll see a lot of men have a foot fetish. A lot of men have a hand fetish. A lot of men talk about feet online publicly. Oh, them feet. Oh, them feet. And honestly, feet are feet. It's nothing special about feet. It's kind of, feet are ugly. When you think about it, it's like just look socks with fingers. It's like feet should not be something that is fetishized, but it is, and it's because of movies like that. And so men learn from this stuff. Like, this stuff is imprinting in the mind of men, and men start to believe it and walk in it, and men take this stuff as gospel. And another example is J. Cole saying that whatever number a woman tells you, that you have to multiply it by 3. So a woman can literally have one sexual partner, and most men are gonna believe that it's 3, not gonna believe that it's 1. A woman could say 0, and a man gonna multiply, just gonna add 3 to it. If a woman literally could be being honest, just saying, hey, I want to be honest, I don't want to lie, I've slept with 10 guys. And that could be a high number to her, and she could be embarrassed by that number, but she just doesn't want the truth to come out. So she says 10, and then the man automatically assumes 30. Just because of what J. Cole said, and it was said in a movie. And I don't know and J. Cole probably got it from that movie, because I think the movie is older than his song. And so when you think about this is how men learn. Men learn in a very weird way. It's not, y'all gotta forgive me, chair getting stuck. It's not what you think it is. So it's not like men going and reading these books and studying women and talking to women. No, men learning from what they see. And one thing that I've noticed in my work as a life coach, a mentor, a speaker, or author, is I kind of study men who are afraid to get married. And I say afraid to get married, meaning when a man crosses like 26 years old and he's still not married, it's something there. And I start to look into that. And a lot of times what I see is a few things. One of the first things I see the most is the man did not have a father in the home. So he is actually deathly afraid of marrying a woman because he has no clue what to do. He has no clue what a husband looks like. He has no clue what a husband does. And it scares him to death, and he doesn't want to say, I don't know how to be a husband. What does a husband do? And he literally is like, because that's what we learn. We learn from what we see. So if a man sees a father in the home who isn't a husband, then he will say, well, I can be with a woman and live with a woman, but not marry her. If he sees a man who is a husband, he can say, oh, I can marry her. But then what does the man do? So if the man only works and provides a living, then the man says, okay, I can get married, but I only have to work a job and make money. If the man doesn't help around the house, then that son is not going to help around the house unless he comes into new knowledge, which is rare. And so men are learning like this. So the number one thing I see is these men don't have a father in the home. They may know their father. And now the men who don't know their father, a lot of times it takes them even longer. And remember, there are exceptions to the rule. I'm talking about the majority of what I see. And it may take them even longer if they don't know their father. I mean, if they never knew their father, they may never get married because they just never knew their father. They never saw any type of example of a man being with a woman, like loving a woman, a man who he loves. Meaning this man could see his school teacher married, but he don't love his school teacher. Could see his coach married, he don't love his coach. Now, if he love and respect his school teacher or his coach or his uncle or his brother, and they get married and he sees that example, then he can pull from that. But oftentimes, this man doesn't have a man in the home, and so he doesn't know what to do. That's one of the main and biggest reasons. Now, the other reason, and I'm on the flip side of that, my father married my mama, I think before I was born. They got married, I believe, 2 years before I was born. And my father was in the home every day of my life. He got mad one day, called himself leaving. He was back the next day or later that night. And he was there. He stayed there. So guess what? I want to be married. I grew up wanting to be married. I love having my father in the home. I love being able to talk to my daddy, talk to my mama, put them against each other, play between the two of them, go to this one when I'm mad at the other one. I loved it having two parents. And in theory, I also wanted to be in a single parent home because I play sports, and most of the pro athletes was coming from single parent homes. And the way the NBA and NFL does it, they do this dramatic story of this guy who he was raised in an orphanage. And he's raised by his grandmother. His dad walked out on him when he was 3 days old and hit him in the head with a sock. And then his mom was addicted to drugs and she threw a football at him and he caught it with one hand. And it was that day that he knew. And they did all this dramatization of the pro athletes. So I said to my daddy one time, this is a true story. I said to my daddy one time, man, daddy, you messing up my story. I'm supposed to be with a single mother. For me to make it, I can't make it with a daddy. Ain't nobody gonna respect me because they're gonna be like, oh, you had a daddy. You ain't him. You ain't that guy. You had a daddy. I ain't do all of that now, but that's what I was thinking. And I said that, and I was jokingly serious. And I remember one time I said to both of my parents, I was like, can y'all miss a game? Like, y'all be at every game. Ain't nobody else parents at every game. Like, my goodness. And they said to me, son, you better be happy you got parents. I didn't understand it because of where I'm from. It just wasn't that common to have two parents in the home. Like, I could think of one guy, two guys, out of the hundreds of guys that I knew and met that had two parents in the home in my city. Now, I know some other guys from other cities, and I could think of one here, but it was rare as black people in America, in my area in Central Florida, to have two parents in the home. And it just made you feel awkward. Like, I got two parents? And so this is the issue today, why so many black men are not getting married, because they just did not see healthy love. And some saw love, but they saw it from a boyfriend of their mama. They saw it from an abusive man to their mama. And they don't want to be that, but they are afraid that if they get married, they're going to be that. Because they're going to pull back on what they know. They're going to fall back on what they know. And so everything that I saw, I did it. I had to go through being a toxic lover, controlling, toxic, abusive. That was what I saw growing up. And so that's what I became. Even in my marriage, I still had to work on control and just being toxic because that's what I saw. I remember another guy said to me, one of my homeboys said to me, he said, "Hey, such and such daddy," because his dad was not in the home. This other guy, dad was in the home, but he was only the father to a few of the kids in the home. It was a couple of the kids in the home that he wasn't a father to. He was like, "Hey, such and such said, you don't want what's between a woman's legs. You want what's between her ears. And once you get that, you got control over her." And that was being taught. So here this OG that we see him as tough, we see him as strong, we see him as just a bad guy, just a mean, tough guy. And that's what, when you coming up, you don't respect as young men. You're not respecting the good guys. You ain't respecting the black men that are professors and police officers and attorneys. For one, we know none, but we knew black police officers, but not black attorneys, not black doctors. You literally just didn't know that stuff. So didn't even know it was a possibility to become a doctor or a lawyer. Coming from where I'm from, now it's other places where people, oh, that wasn't my experience. We had plenty. All right, congratulations. Good. You want a cookie? All right, that ain't everybody's experience. That ain't majority of black people experience. Congratulations being up in a suburb in that city. Congratulations, here go a cookie. When you look back into the history, you will also find out that one of your ancestors slept with the slave master and was half white. And so now they got to come in the house out the sun and they got to get an education. Congratulations. Or your great granddaddy used to put in work for the slave master and used to bend over the slaves and wear that behind out and used to do that work. So he got a house. The slave master gave him a house because he was Samuel Jackson in the Django. So he got a house, and his wife and kids was allowed to learn how to read. So when we really be honest about it, it's like, ain't now a black person in America who ancestors went through slavery any better than any other. It's just we fell on different sides of the line. Some got a little white in them and got treated different from being lighter. And I think that's in my history, because on my daddy's side, they do pretty well on my daddy's side. They weren't downtrodden. On my mama's side, I think that was all black in the field, because they lineage was absolutely terrible. And so we have to be real about that. Unless you Harriet Tubman grandchild or in her lineage, if she had kids, I don't even know if she had kids. And so we have to understand that we're a product of our environment, and until we change our environment, we will continue to produce the same thing. And a lot of times we are a product and we don't realize we're a product, and we're operating and we're being a product, and we don't even realize what we're doing. We don't even realize that, whoa, I'm being just like my mama. I'm being just like my daddy. And they was like that because they come from slavery mindset. So now I'm in slave mindset. And it's 2023, 2024, 2025. And I'm thinking and acting like a slave. We don't pick up on it. And so this what's happening with black men today is black men are afraid. It's not even about just being nasty and just being dogs and just being ruthless. Like, black men are the nicest men you gonna ever meet. Like, and hear what understand what I'm saying. I know, listen, get out your feelings and listen. I'll be like, I can't watch this no more. Listen what I'm saying. Who do you see in the neighborhoods giving out turkeys? Who do you see risking their freedom, living illegal, about to go to prison, and got the nerve to be giving out turkeys, just giving out money to the kids, buying the old lady grocery? You never really see a lot of white men or Hispanic men. Like, listen, I know white billionaires and I give more than them. Like, listen to me. Like, black men is good men in the sense of our true nature, but we have been stripped of our true nature. That's what slavery did. Slavery stripped us of our happiness, of our peace, and it introduced pain and trauma. And then with that pain, we hurt the people we love because they're closest to us. And because they love us, we know they won't hurt us back. Now that has changed in some ways, in the sense of women starting to cheat back, women starting to shoot back, women starting to fight back. And that started back then too. But it's like, if a black man is angry and he punch his wife, she gonna grab her eye, she gonna cry, and she gonna put some ice on her eye. And I'm talking about back in slavery days and after slavery, right after slavery. If a black man punched a white man who he really mad at, he gonna get lynched and burned. So it's the kick the cat syndrome. The white man had the power. The white man beat on, belittle, disrespect, spit in the face of the black man. The black man then feels powerless. So instead of fighting the white man back and getting killed, because he's gonna get killed, he then goes home and he takes it out on his family. So he goes home and he either does drugs, or before cocaine and all that, it was alcohol. He gets really drunk. He take all his pain, all his anger, all his trauma out on the woman. And now the woman takes her pain, anger, and trauma out on the kids. And either she giving it to him or he giving it to him, and she trying to protect him, or she giving it to him, and then he just let her give it to him, get him the pain and all that, because he inebriated. He's about to pass out. This is real. And then now it's just one broken man raising another broken man. And it just is a trickle down effect. It's just broken. And then the women over here just finding their way and dividing up into the different sectors. So you got the woman that's gonna be a savage, and she finna play the game, she finna win, she finna get that money, she finna get a house, she finna get a car, she finna get clothes, she gonna be cheating, she gonna be sleeping with many men, she gonna be getting a lot of money, she finna get that Jezebel popping. And then you got the other woman who, she finna suffer the wrong. She finna take the black eye, she finna get cussed out, she finna be mistreated, and she sympathizes with the black man's pain. She sees his pain. She knows that she's done nothing to him, that she's done nothing to deserve how he is treating her. And she said, I'm gonna take this, because if he don't get his pain to me, he gonna go out in the world and get his pain, and then he gonna get killed, and I'm gonna lose him, and his kids gonna lose him. So let me suffer the wrong. The black woman is the strongest being on the face of this planet. It's the strongest being on the face of this planet. And as black men, we do not give black women the credit that they deserve, because of the segment of black women that have become savages. And so because of our pain and because of our lust, when you mix pain and lust, that is a bad concoction, because what it does is you go and you look for the Jezebel. You are attracted, you're lured in. The Jezebel knows that she can play on a man who is full of pain and trauma. This is the realest video that's ever been made. share it with everybody in your text phone. And she knows she can play on this man who is full of trauma and full of pain. So she lures him in. She put that thing on him, and she started getting his money. She started taking advantage of him. And then he falls for her because she's playing a role and she's doing everything that his wife or his girlfriend, who is classy and respectable and putting up with all his mess, she does everything that the other woman won't do. So now the man falls in love with this woman because she's playing on his ego. But what he doesn't realize, she playing on his ego for his money, because she just wants to survive in this world. She just want to live. So the man giving her money, and he think his money is buying her loyalty. But he don't understand she has been raped and pillaged. She's been ran and through, taken advantage of. She's been dogged out. She has no soul, no heart anymore. She has turned that over. She don't believe in love no more, and he don't realize that, because there's still a little bit of good in him, and he just want to be affirmed. He just want to be loved. He wants somebody to soothe and put some soothing balm on his wounds. And the woman that he with, she ain't doing that, because he's stripping her of all her dignity with the way he talked to her, the way he treat her. She have no energy left to soothe him. So the Jezebel pretends to soothe him. And when he drops his guard, she slit his throat. Sometimes literally, sometimes figuratively. And what I mean on the figurative side, it is, these are the men that you see with the Toxic Podcast. These are the men who are now producing these podcasts. And if you notice, a lot of these men, when you look into their history, when you look into their past, they were overlooked. They were ostracized. They were not that guy. They were Mr. Lane, and then now they've grown into themselves, meaning they probably started lifting weights or they had a growth spurt. But a lot of them, you could look at them and tell. And that's why they're spewing the messages they're spewing, because they were attracted, they got lured in by the savage women. And now they take that pain and they can't take it out on the savage woman, because they know she is smarter than them. She got more weapons than them. When you see a woman who a superhero or supervillain, she gonna have more to her, more in her bag than the male supervillain. So what this man knows is that this woman could really hurt him to his core. So he don't go after the savage. He does the same thing that we do when we were under the foot of the white man. He goes to a good woman who is a wade in the water, climb the rough side of the mountain, good, strong, believing woman, and he takes it out on her. And he don't go at the savage woman, because he know she'll sleep with his daddy, she'll sleep with his best friend, she'll sleep with all of his friends, she'll sleep with all his co-workers, she'll release his dang-a-lang pics, she'll write the blog about how little his thing is. He know he don't want to smoke with her. So he tuck his tail, he walk away, and he start a podcast to bash all other women and to broadly paint all women with this broad stroke, because of the pain that he has suffered at the hand of a savage woman who gave him the taste of the medicine that he had been given to a good woman. If he ever had a woman. Some men never had no woman, and the first woman they get is a woman who got that Jezebel spirit on her, and they lure him in, and then he get taken advantage of, and now he got a bad taste in his mouth for the rest of his life. And what he doesn't realize, it was the beauty and the booty that lured him in, not the class and the character. He overlooked the class and the character because he thought she looked like a lame. He thought she looked like a nerd. He thought that her stomach wasn't flat enough. He thought her booty wasn't big enough. He thought her smile wasn't bright enough. So he go to the Jezebel booty, and then he get what he looking for. And now he butt hurt. And so this is another reason I just described a whole nother segment of men who will not get married. But because that is hundreds of thousands of black men, that means it's hundreds of thousands of black women without a husband because of this pain that this man is sitting in. So you got the man who is not really hurting, but he's afraid because he never saw love. Then you got the man who done been hurt by a woman and he don't want to get married because of the pain and the anger and the frustration that he dealing with. And then you got the man who maybe did not see a male figure in his life and was raised by a mother and some sisters or a lot of female cousins or grandma, and he is not sure about his sexuality. He's not confident in his sexuality. And so that's a third type of man that I see, who is just really and I see these guys, it's almost like they're not gay, but they just don't feel confident with a woman. They just don't feel masculine. They feel more feminine than masculine, and they feel like a woman is not gonna like them, and a woman is not gonna appreciate or respect their touch or appreciate or respect their masculinity. And a lot of these men don't even want no man, but they just don't know their way around the mind or the body of a woman, and they're afraid to explore that uncharted territory because they're afraid to get laughed at, to get picked on, and to have to deal with maybe what they dealt with in elementary or middle school or high school. And they become their own version of toxic. And I see that sometimes. I recently met a man who I could tell he had been the brunt of jokes. And when you become a masculine, secure man, you don't present as a tough guy because you know your strength. So it's almost like you dumb your strength down. You Clark Kent. Because you know who you could become when you go in the booth. And I met this guy and he was insecure. And I could tell he had been picked on. He was nothing like the man that I used to be. Meaning star athlete, in the paper all the time, college scholarship to play ball. He was the opposite of that. Never lifted weights, no muscle, no masculine energy. But yet not really gay. But just not gay, but just looking for male companionship, male friendship, camaraderie with the bros. And because I'm quiet and because I'm not loud and boisterous and I don't have that fake ego, that false sense of bravado that weak men operate in, he thought that I was one of the, a soft guy that he could pick on, make a joke about. And me being able to see him, meaning I could see through him, I could see what he was dealing with, I didn't pay it no mind. I allowed myself to be the brunt of his jokes. And it wasn't nothing real crazy or hurtful or nothing, but I let it slide just because I know me and I could see him. But that is a sector of men who are becoming void and useless in the sense of love and relationship a lot of times because they're afraid, because they just don't feel confident in their ability to love a woman because they were raised by all women. And it's different from the first guy I talked about, who he didn't have a father in the home, but he presents as extremely masculine. Like he masculine. He all the way masculine, but he just didn't have a father in the home, so he don't know how to be a husband. is different from the other guy who he almost presents as feminine, but he's not gay. And then now this fourth segment of black men are the actual, you got the bisexual men, and just a lot of the same reasons that I see, just not being raised right, not being raised with examples, and just kind of being all over the place. And then you got the fifth segment of men who are gay. They into men. And for whatever reason, some people say they born gay. I notice a lot of people are raised gay, meaning their environment and what they were around determined who they became. It shaped their sexual identity. That they weren't like that out the womb. They adapted and became that way once they started to come into the knowledge of the things and that they were around in their environment. And so now when you look at these 5 different sectors of men that I just mentioned, this accounts for 1 million plus black men. This accounts for probably a couple million, 2-3 million. So each one of these men should have a wife. But with all these men not having a wife, then that then leaves millions of black women without a husband. And then if there's more women than men, so if there's 8 million black women and 6 million black men of the age of marriage, and I'm just throwing these numbers out, I don't know how many millions it is, then that means 2 million black women already without a husband. And the only way those 2 million get a husband is if they wait on the younger men to become adults, or they get in the second marriage of 2 million of the men out of the 6 million that go through a divorce, which 3 million gonna go through a divorce. So if them 3 million go marry again, then them other 2 million that was left could get another woman rest of a man after on his second time around. But now if you got 8 million black women and then you got 6 million black men, and let's say you got 1 million gay black women, then that leaves you 7 million black women who want a man. But then if out of that 6 million, only 3 million is available, now you got 7 million black women to 3 million black men. Now, of course, in that 7 million, you're going to have some black women who not available as well due to prison or some of the same other things that men go through, or just an independent mindset that might take that 7 down to 6 when you remove the people in the black women in prison and what have you. Now for y'all other races and demographics, you could look at yours and kind of see the numbers and figure this out too, but I'm just speaking from my demographic. And so now you see where this issue lies. And now you see why that's a problem and why it's leading to depression in a lot of women. And here's the thing. What do we do about it? The thing that you have to realize is that the cream will rise to the top. So out of all the men that are available to be married, it's a couple things that happen now. Not all the women that's available for marriage is marriage ready. So the ones who are marriage ready will rise to the top because of their mental preparation and their physical preparation. And then the men who are ready will rise to the top. And that may then become 1 million black women, 1 million black men. And now the marriage, for those who are ready, it's more equal. And that's what people not realizing, is that the cream rise to the top. Many called, few are chosen. Everybody can't go. So the goal is to become the best of the best. The goal is to elevate your mindset to become marriage material. That's the goal. The goal is to work on your mind, to work on your body, so that if there is an available suitor, you are ready for that. But if you're not taking care of your mind and your body, your spirit, then you fall into the category that is not ready. And on the other side of this is, yes, black women should be open to dating other races. Now, that's going to come with its own challenges. And there's going to be probably, I can't say it's going to be more bad than good. Because what happens with men is sometimes when we don't fully understand something, we value it more. We put it on a pedestal. And so I took off the black men, the million black men that don't want a black woman. We want a white or Hispanic woman. So now again that number drops. So when that number dropped, that 6 million go to 3 million. Now that 3 million go to 2 million. And so the same thing has to be on the other side. And I think we seen Kamala Harris got a white man. Serena Williams got a white man. And off top, I can't think of a lot of others. I think one of the Maori sisters, not the one who going through the divorce, is like twin sisters. One get a white man, one get a black man, the one with the black man going through a divorce. Come on, brother. You making the narrative? Come on now. You supposed to be helping us out. Little raggedy butt going through a doggone divorce. And then the sister over there with the white man, she doing good. Come on, huh? And so now there is this divesting movement of these women saying, we tired of y'all brothers. We finna go on out here and get us some whites and Asians. And listen, I don't blame you. I do not blame them. And it's gonna be a sector of black women though that get a wake-up call. It's gonna be a good percentage that get a nice little wake-up call. Because you have to understand, white men, that's the same color man that did what they did to the Native Americans. That's the same color man that did what they did to the Africans. So white men got their own set of problems too. What you have to realize is Ted Bundy white. Okay, Jeffrey Dahmer white. All these here men who doing this right here at these schools, they white. White men ain't the Holy Grail now. White men ain't angels. White men got a lot of issues. Look at the way when you American and you go to another country, them other countries do not like America. And why not? Because of the white man. So while y'all singing the praises, you gonna find out. You gonna find out that a man is a man. A man is a man. And every man gonna come with a set of issues. And there's two types of people. One that'll stab you in your chest, and one that'll stab you in your back. All of us capable of it. But we one or the other. Some people is in your face. Me, I'm the type that'll stab you in your chest. I'm in your face. What you see is what you get. I'm real, I'm authentic to a fault. I ask the wrong kind of questions, that's too real. I answer the wrong question, that's too real. I'm the type that I'm in your face. I'll stab you in the chest. That's how my sister is. In the chest. Now, there's other people I know that they type more in the back. They people pleasers. They ain't gonna be real up front. They ain't gonna tell you how they feeling, but they gonna get they get back. They gonna hurt you, but you're gonna find out later. You're gonna find out down the line. And so it's two types of people. The issue is, the thing about it is the person that's in your face, the person that'll stab you in your chest, and I'm not talking literally, I'm meaning that'll hurt you up front, is hard to deal with. It's hard to accept that person because we show our hand. Like we real. Whereas what we saying is what millions of people could be thinking. But like the Bible say, even a fool is seen as wise with his mouth shut. So that's our fault, is we'll talk too much. We'll be too blunt. We'll be too upfront. We'll be too direct to where we'll hurt somebody. So my words will hurt you. My words will hurt you, but I'm going to tell you how I feel. And it may cut like a hot knife on warm butter. It may cut. It may hurt. But then there's another type of man who, when you are not doing what you're supposed to do, when he doesn't feel like you reciprocating, he's not going to tell you. He's going to stab you in your back. So he's going to go and get addicted to pornography. He's going to go and sleep with other women. And the thing about it is so often with humans, women would prefer to be stabbed in the back than stabbed in the chest. Women will prefer. Now, women say they want the truth, but you do not want the truth. You do not want the truth. Because when you hear the truth from somebody you love, it hurt. So women will say they want the truth, but you absolutely do not want the truth. And stop saying you want the truth until you get the truth from somebody you love and you do the right thing with it. When you get the truth from somebody that you love and you do the right thing with it, that's when you could tell yourself, I like the truth. If that ain't happened for you, then stop saying that. So this is what a lot of women would prefer. A lot of women would prefer a man who will hurt them without them knowing. Or a man who gonna be dishonest and disloyal, but not let them find out. Stab you in the back. And that's more so your typical white man. And for a black woman. And your typical Asian man for a black woman. Now, for a black woman, the Hispanic man and the black man is the type that's going to stab you in the chest. Meaning, they're going to tell you, on average, it's different types now, but on average, they're going to tell you, hey, this is what it is. Hey, it is what it is. Listen, I got options out here. There's other options out here, and you putting on all this weight. You out here putting on all this weight. Now, I wouldn't say that. I ain't like that now. But it's guys out there that listen, how you expect me to be attracted to you and gain 50 pounds? My goodness. And it's like, have I gained 50 pounds? No, I ain't gained 50 pounds. You done gained 50 pounds. And he might not know how to say it. He might not be saying it the right way, but he might be telling the truth. And whereas the white man, he gonna be like, oh my goodness, she just keeps eating. Oh my goodness, like, oh, Tom, like every day, all she does is eat. And it's like, and then it's like, I have no choice but to cheat on her with Bumblebee Triple X, because it's like, oh my goodness, the fupa is getting out of control. Like, and so as women, you got to picking your poison. You want the man who gonna hurt your feelings with the truth, and you gonna be mad on that treadmill. Make me sick. Make me sick. I'm finna show you. I'm finna show you. And when I get the weight off of me, I ain't even gonna put this thing on you. And you'll get mad now. Or do you want the man that's finna go get into a pornography? Now, there's black men like this too now that'll stab you in the back. That's why I say on average. Okay? It's both sides of it. There's white men that'll hurt your feelings too. It's both sides of it. That's what you got to understand. There ain't no one size fits all, but I'm talking about on average, the majority. So that's what we have today. So to the black women who you realize like, okay, my body type, my mindset, my education level, it's not working for black men. Then by all means, be open to other races. And not even just other races, but other nationalities. African men who are black African are different than black Americans. And so that don't mean they all perfect now. And a lot of them are silent assassins too now. So that's why you have to, no matter if you with a black American, if you with a black African, if you with a black Canadian, if you with a black Caribbean Islander, if you with a white man, if you with a Hispanic man, if you with an Asian man, you have to try the spirit by the spirit. You got to know the red flags. And you have to know what character looks like. Because regardless of the race, color, creed, character is character. And so the problem is black women saying, hey, I'm done with black men because of their trauma, their pain, their ignorance, their selfishness, their bitterness, their nastiness, their disrespect. And so I'm going to white men, but then just go get any white man. And then next thing you know, you got Ted Bundy on your hands. You got Jeffrey Dahmer on your hands. And just because you just wanted any white is right, any white will do. That ain't how you got to do that. You still got to try the spirit by the spirit. So when you go in there, you still got to see, is this a man? Because if he ain't no man, then all right, keep going. Go on to the next white man, or next Asian man, next Hispanic man, next whatever kind of man. But don't just go to somebody just to be gone. And then the thing too is, a lot of times what women don't understand, a lot of times men date across the aisle from insecurity. A lot of times men date across the aisle from insecurity or for a come up. So it's like a white man could be not desired by white women. And he will go and pick the best of the litter from black women. So he will go and he'll get a black woman. He don't care what she look like. He don't care how she built. He don't care how her attitude is. But if she's a surgeon, if she's a pro athlete, if she's an actress, if she's a president, politician, and he'll go and get that. That's the same thing happen when you see a lot of white women who are good looking or of status go and get a black man. They going typically to get a millionaire business owner or a millionaire athlete. They're not going and taking the average black man off your hand. They going and getting the best of your crop. And that's the thing with the white race. And no offense to my white friends, but white people, if they honest, white people are capitalists. White people use black people and Native Americans to build America. They strategic in how they move on average. Not all of them now. It's good white people out there. I got a lot of good white friends. But the race at large, that's their MO. So a lot of times when a white woman come across the aisle, she coming to get the best of the best. If they in a trailer park, if they in the hood, or if they in the suburbs, she coming to get the best black man available. Same thing with a white man. If they in the trailer park, the hood, or in the boardroom, or in the millionaire ranks, he coming to get the best available. And so when you look around and see that, they just ain't approving no anybody. And so a lot of times what black women don't realize is like, yeah, you got a man of another race, but he wants you for the wrong reasons. Whereas had you just spent a little more digging, did a little more time, like been in a few more communities, you would have met a black man that appreciate your color, your heritage, your ways, your everything. But you gave up because you gave Pookie and Ray Ray and Peanut and Bunka a chance and got your feelings hurt. You call yourself trying to be nice, trying to be a good woman, then got with this savage of a man, you done got dogged out 2, 3, 4 times, or one bad time, and now you just all of a sudden you just all off black men. Now you in the divestment movement because you went through one horrific relationship. But now you go across that aisle, and now you pray. Now you pray and you don't even realize it. Don't even realize it. That man don't even want you for you. He wants you because his own kind don't want him. Cause they see him as too nerdy or too pale or too freckly or too lame or too what? Too short, too this, too that. And then he come and get you and you bringing a lot to the table. And you think about love. No, that's a strategic move. And that's a truth that we don't want to confront. That's a truth we don't want to be real about. That's why you see a lot of unattractive black men with a white woman or a Hispanic woman. And it's like, listen, bro, if you unattractive to black women, what make you think you're attractive to another race when other races don't even treat black people with respect? So that woman don't want you. That woman don't like you. That woman you're not her type unless she is ostracized by her own race. But if that woman could get white men and white men want to be with that woman, what make you think that woman wants you? Because she have not met a white man that's a millionaire. And she ain't met no white man that's going to pedestalize her and treat her like a trophy. But because as a black man, because of your insecurity, because of your ignorance, because of your self-hate, you putting this woman of another race on a pedestal. And you think she better than your own race because you grew up in the hood and you think your women are ghetto. But instead of going to a different type of woman in your race, you just going outside your race because you think the other race is just across the board blanket better. Not the case. Not the case always. Sometimes you meet somebody organically and it's love and it's real. Sometimes that happens. But what I be seeing online and in the media, the motives be wrong. The motive be wrong 9 out of 10 times. Hey, this Tony Gas, and y'all forgive me for being real. I apologize. I'm sorry, not sorry. But what the Lord telling me is like, Tony, listen, man, if you're gonna get counsel, you're gonna get counsel. You know, if people gonna be mad at you about the truth, they're gonna be mad at you about the truth. But at the end of the day, our times is getting darker, and we're gonna need people to be real. We're gonna need the truth. There's enough people out here lying. But I'm gonna tell you the truth in love. I'm not gonna tell you the truth in hate. I'm not gonna tell you the truth from it's black men that's telling the truth. Like, they sharing their truth, but they sharing it from pain. And they sharing it from anger. I'm happy. I'm in a beautiful marriage. I'm in a good place. I got an amazing family. 2 amazing sons, straight A students, amazing wife. God done blessed me in every area that you could be blessed in. I'm speaking from a place of peace. I'm speaking from a place of wholeness. I'm speaking from a place of happiness, joy, love. It's all love. I'm speaking the truth, and the truth is hard to hear, especially when it's talking to you and it's stepping on your toes. And we don't like that, but it's coming from a place of love. So, hey, understand that. God bless you. And if you got to this point, I have still, because we're in the holiday season and I just ain't took the time, I still have left the courses. They are listed at 50% off. So the price you see, that's 50% off. So that what you're looking at, if you double that number, that's what that course was listed at before the Black Friday sale. So the price you see, that's 50% off. But if you use the coupon code THANKFUL, 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 thankful. If you use that coupon code when you're getting ready to check out, you click order summary. It's a drop down menu. It'll click apply code or have a code. Click have a code, type in thankful. It's not case sensitive. Type in thankful, hit apply, and then you're gonna see another 30% come off. So that course you buying, you getting off of that course, you getting 80% off of that course. So understand that. And that's on TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. And here's the thing, I don't ask for handouts, I don't ask for donations. But if you appreciate any of the videos, instead of giving me something, go and get you something. Go and get you a course that can change your life, that can benefit your life, but it's blessing me at the same time. That's why I create these books and these courses, so that I'm giving you something. I ain't asking you for something for free. I ain't asking for no donation or no handout. Understand that. And for those of you who have supported, I appreciate that support. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. God bless you. We'll talk soon.